Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Auden, good to see you again. So clearly, the concern that you've seen from many of my colleagues with respect to the Community Reinvestment Act and ensuring there's no discrimination in lending. And I know the OCC is required to ensure that the banks comply with laws prohibiting the unfair and discriminatory lending, correct?
That's correct.
And so with that, you're ensuring the banks...
But Senator, not with CRA. That is fair lending. Actually, there are fair lending exams done based upon the HMDA data. So
that you do?
That is correct.
Correct. Thank you. And so in ensuring that there's no discrimination, let me ask you this. So are you ensuring that the banks are complying with the Fair Housing Act?
Am I ensuring that they're complying with the Fair Housing Act?
Correct.
Yes, we are.
And are you ensuring they're complying with the Equal Credit Opportunity Act?
Yes, we are.
And has your office reported any violations of those acts to DOJ?
Yes, we have.
So they're actively looking at that now. Thank you very much. Let me ask you this, going back to the CRA enforcement, it's my understanding you've instructed your bank examiners to change how they consider CRA bank exams. Is that true?
Not to my knowledge. Oh, I believe we're sending out a bulletin today. Yeah, so there is bulletins that we send out where we update procedures, and it either is, did it go out? Yeah, we frequently will provide Q&A or bulletins as updates, and so we've been hoping we were going to get the ANPR out, and so there were some updates that went out, if that's what you're referencing, to our CRA.
Updates in how the bank examiners will be, in the criteria they will be looking at when they're engaging in these exams? Is that what?
No. The criteria has been, for banks over $1.236 billion, there is a point system that is lending, investments, and then a service test.
Well, let me ask you this, because I'm just trying to get to something specific. I only have so much time, so I appreciate it. I want to let my colleagues also ask. My understanding is that the bank examiners consider the CRA when they're engaged in these bank exams. Isn't that correct?
We actually do specific CRA.
And are they looking to ensure that there's no discriminatory lending going on as part of the CRA review?
So what occurs in a CRA exam is we do a HMDA review first.
Correct.
To ensure that we can rely upon the information that the financial institution has given us. It doesn't mean that they're doing a fair lending exam at the same time they're doing a CRA exam.
But are they still looking at
if there are items,
data points that
yes,
the
HMDA data.
Well, let me ask you this: as part of their CRA exam, are there any concerns that they look at or data points that they look at to ensure there's no discrimination in any manner whatsoever? They don't look at any of that. Any of the HMDA points, there's nothing in the mortgage lending or anything that they look at to ensure there's no discrimination. Is that what I'm hearing you tell me? That your bank examiners don't look for that?
Let me be clear.
Okay.
So prior to a CRA exam starting, we do a HMDA review to determine the accuracy of the data. If there are items that are discovered in the HMDA that would lead our suspicion that there is fair lending questions, then we are required by statute to do within 12 months a fair lending examination. We are also frequently doing fair lending examinations independent of CRA.
Okay. And so knowing this, and I know the OC supervises about 1,000 banks, correct?
1,300.
Okay. And how many of those banks, if you know, make fewer than 500 mortgage loans or home equity loans?
We looked at that data, and it's less than 5%.
Okay. And then, as you well know, Congress passed a law.
5% of the volume, I'm sorry.
Okay. And Congress passed a law that exempted banks that make fewer than 500 mortgage loans from reporting publicly on much of the loan and borrower characteristics like points and fees, interest rate, and other indicators of loan quality. So how can you ensure without that data, let me finish my question.
Okay, I want to.
Okay, and then you can clarify, I'll let you clarify. How can you ensure that without that data that you're not determining that there's the presence of discrimination or not? If you don't have all of the information you need to make that determination.
So just as a point of clarification,
Okay.
those banks that will be excluded still have a HMDA light that they have to file. The enhanced HMDA data is what the other financial institutions will submit.
No, I recognize that. That's why I opposed it. I think HMDA Light doesn't give us enough information to determine whether discrimination or not, and that's my question to you.
We have
Without
historically
that
used-
additional data, how do you ensure there's no
We've
discrimination?
historically used the HMDA data to point us in the direction where we think that there is.
Do you still have access to all of the HMDA data, or just the HMDA Light, like you called it?
Well, only the institute, well, it's been being enhanced, and there is new enhancement based upon the CFPB's, criteria. But what will occur is that data will come into us for 95% of the volume. 5% of the volume will be HMDA Light.
Okay, so you're only referring and utilizing HMDA Light data is what I hear. And I know my time is up. I'm going to defer to my colleagues.
5% of the data.
Thank you.